Welcome to TPP's Retail Shift, where we ask influential retail leaders to put a shift in with TPP and tell us what is on their minds. Today, we are joined by Paul Cannon, the CIO of Park Holidays. Hi, Paul.
Hi, James. How you doing?
I'm really well. And you?
Good. Yeah, good.
Great to see you. So, Paul, you are about 2 years into your role as CIO of Park Holidays. You were IT director at Homebase before that. What has been the biggest jump for you of going from IT director to CIO?
I think sort of landing, on the exec in a business, and I think this is where the role of the CIO has changed anyway, is really, really shaping the agenda, not just delivering what the business asks for. And that's been the kind of most liberating thing of coming into a business, seeing where the problems are and problems they didn't know they had, and starting to fix them and get them in a better place. And the joy of it going into a business that's not pure retail is the technology was quite a long way behind because it didn't need to be cutting edge. And now we're doing some really cool things.
I love that you use the word liberating. It's a great feeling to have in your new job, right?
Absolutely. I love what I do. I've got a great team in a great business. So what more can I want? And
the ability to help steer the business along, rather than just be delivering somebody else's priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where the liberation has come from. There were projects in flight that have been delivered very well, but there's a load of things we've started that, just lifted up the drain. I thought, this could be considerably better. And holiday parks are just a great train set. So, yeah.
Amazing. Sounds really good.
Yeah, it's good.
What keeps you awake at night as a CIO?
Cyber. Socially engineered attacks. That's it. You look at the kind of the 2 or 3 big ones, all in through the same route. Not a kind of a hack as such. It's credential stealing or misinformation and getting into systems because someone thought they were being helpful. That's what keeps me up at night.
Such a scary environment now, isn't it? Much more than ever.
Yeah, but I think if you take some positives out of what happened to the big retailers, is it's just heightened awareness that you think, wow, if they can be done, then anybody can. But of course they can, because it's retail and they will have had a lot of old security, old IT chugging away in the background, and which would have been incredibly hard to get the money to replace. I know it's become a hell of a lot easier now. So I think it's done the retail landscape a real favour.
I guess it's awareness at 2 levels. It's the people in the business who are more aware of needing to be careful, but then also at board level. So How do you get a CEO or a CFO to allocate money?
Yeah, that you're asking for a return on investment for a thing that isn't that tangible, other than look what happened to Marks and Spencer's.
It's the risk of not.
It is the risk of not. And I speak to people in sort of both the big retailers, and they're like, wow, it's just got a lot easier to do the dull things, get rid of that really old middleware.
It's long overdue though. It's really been needed for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a genuinely great wake-up call, I think.
Yeah, hopefully a lot of other retailers have benefited.
Yeah.
And certainly from what you're saying yourself as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you identify the different risks around a business for cybersecurity?
I think it's, you make sure that the team have got their eye on it, and you're listening to the people that have got concerns. As I say, I'm not an expert in these bits. I understand how businesses run. So if my infrastructure people are worried, then I take note and we start doing things about it. Clearly we do penetration tests, highlight where we've got any issues, and then we certainly act on them. But it's listen to your experts. That's the point. I was very clear when I joined with all of them that I can't do their job.
Retail and hospitality are such tough areas to protect. If you think of potentially hundreds of sites, hardware everywhere, people everywhere, it always concerns me. You only have to walk around a supermarket. You might see a mobile device, a tablet, even a printer, just kind of left lying around. All of those are security risks, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of the forgotten endpoints, the old CCTV system that sits on the network. But back to my point about the social engineered thing, it is about driving that awareness, and this is the risk of leaving yourself logged in and all of that. Clearly, depending on where you are in the organisation, depends on which bit of the systems you can get to, and that's basic, but actually give people the access they need, not the access that they want sometimes.
That's a great shout, actually. Give people what they need, not what they want.
Yeah.
Is really relevant.
Yeah, too right.
But also it's making sure every device is current and patched and the right versions and secure. It's so tough, and the amount we see of retailers with out-of-date estates that you can't support anymore and are sitting on Android versions that might be 4 or 5 years out of date, it's horrifying, but it has got easier, you're right, easier in the last year or so to have the conversations to try and fix it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is sort of raising that awareness to the rest of the exec of, actually, we're going to have to replace a load of iPhones in the business because, the silicon isn't secure anymore. Face ID from 5 years ago was not great. It really is good now, and sort of keeping that stuff refreshed and just making sure you've got the budget to do it is really important, particularly as, mobile devices are becoming kind of everything. There's anything I buy pretty much works mobile, whether it's, corporate device or not. We need to make sure it's secure and, multi-factor authentication's in place, but the device it's not what it was. It's not a PC bolted to a desk somewhere anymore. It is mobile. It's a mobile world.
And we're also used to running our personal lives on our phones.
Yeah.
But increasingly that has become how we run our work lives. Every colleague with a device to power their daily work. But making that stuff secure is just so tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of security is inconvenient for users. How do you get users to not mind?
I was just very, very clear when I joined. I sort of set my mandate out, and the first thing was, I'm here to keep us safe and secure. So I was very clear that I wasn't going to be apologising for having inconvenient things like multi-factor authentication. And it always comes over as a bit of a joke, but when someone says, I just need to log in again, I just say, you're welcome. It's
you did a great job.
We're here to keep you safe and secure. Yes, number matching, great. It's a live thing to do, and it drives the reason why we do everything. It's, yes, we will have single sign-on, but you're still going to have to authenticate. Sorry. And I joined a business that had only just put that in. So,
sorry but not sorry, right?
Yeah, no, really sorry but not sorry. And I just, as I said, you're welcome.
Means you're doing a great job of securing the business's information and solutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing your job right.
Yeah.
But it is tough. I can see that users can be the challenge, and persuading them to follow the rules and follow the structure. Yeah,
and a load of things aren't that much technology driven anymore. It's more behavioural. So, example, we're just rolling SharePoint out. I need to get rid of my W drive. Actually, we've had SharePoint forever. So we're not actually doing a technology implementation. We're doing a ways of working and a business change project. And it's more about the people and the change, and the fact that, this is how you share documents now, not the old way. GPDR is, an ever-present worry as well. So
it's always about bringing the people with you on any major change. What do you do as a CIO to get the people to come with you?
It's about the why, not the what, and it's about storytelling. About, we're doing this because the end state is this. Payment tokenization is probably the best example. We will be able to see our customers' behaviour around the parks. So we're moving from this to this for this reason, and this is the end goal. And that's the thing. It's, you get to a place where there's an elephant in the room that people won't mention, and it might be a bad example, but CRM is just 3 letters, and from a marketeer, CRM is very, very different to a salesperson. So saying you're doing a CRM project, everyone will nod. We need to do a CRM project, but are you really clarifying what you're doing and why, and what the end state you're after? What's the outcome? And that's kind of how the team work is. What's the outcome you're after? Don't tell you need. So another bad example. Don't say you need DocuSign. Say we need a way of securely capturing electronic signatures. It's my team's job to find the best solution for that integrates with our stack, but just be outcome driven. Where do you want to get to in the end, and tell the story.
And your team's job is to find a way of making it easy and slick as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so after the security thing, the second point I made was I'm here, or my team are here, to support every aspect of this business. You cannot do a single function without us really now, because that's the world we're in. 3 was we're here to make this business simpler, easier, and better, more efficient place to work. So, and that's what we're doing.
I get so personally frustrated with some of the enterprise tech that we see. So we're all on our own phone, on our consumer apps. We get an app and we just use it, it's intuitive.
Yeah.
But then in enterprise, we get an app and it has a 20-page training manual.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why can't people design enterprise solutions with the usability and the quality of consumer solutions?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's one of the things that with anything we roll, I think we do talk about the why, but everything should be intuitive. You don't read the manual of your car because you haven't got a manual of your car, but you used to have a car manual.
I think some people might, Paul. Some people still might.
Yeah, but you don't. You don't read instructions for an app. You just use it, and that's the tech you need to deliver.
And if you think of hospitality and retail, lots of transient workers, people might work the holidays, the weekends. How can they be expected every weekend for their shift to relearn everything?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not intuitive. There's no chance.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then you can make security intuitive, and then all of a sudden it's kind of easier.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and particularly security. There's, do simulations.
Okay.
We like pretty much every other business runs phishing simulations. We report on those, and you have to go back through the e-learning, but it's just rinse and repeat, and the simulations are convincing. Really convincing.
We've been doing some of that in our own business as well recently. How important is it for you that your partners, your suppliers, are as on top of their InfoSec as you are?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the processes and procedures need to be right as well. And the business I work for isn't massive, and that familiarity is really, really easy to fall back on. I don't have an office. I sit amongst my team, and that's an active conversation. I can hear the help desk guys at work. If one of the network engineers, our partners out there, even if they know them, they've worked with them for 15 years, I listen to them going, right, I'm just going to phone the office to confirm that you're there before we open that port. And that's just good practice and basic but professional IT, and it's just lovely to hear it.
Yeah, great. And other than simple good practice in security, what else makes a great supplier or partner for you?
It is. I mean, we've worked together for years. My philosophy has never changed. It is about partnerships. This stuff isn't easy. I don't ever go to pilot to prove we're right. We go to pilot to prove whether something's good enough and it works. And if it doesn't, it's about rolling with the punches and going back and getting to the point where it does. I've seen too many businesses that put something in, it isn't good enough, but they push on. And that isn't why you pilot something. And having a partner that you trust, and the fact that when it doesn't go in the right direction, is honest and open, and you get to the endpoint you want, is all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. And your quote, this stuff isn't easy. It really isn't.
No.
And I think a lot of people miss that. But having a customer and a partner, or a retailer or a hospitality business and a partner that both come from the same position on that and both want to make the tough journey together.
Yeah.
Start somewhere, progress it together, solve the problems together. and then come to the right thing together.
Yeah.
But together at every step, right?
Yeah, too right. And it's, we're in our businesses to make money. That's the reason to come to work as a kind of, basic 101, and everybody is there to do that, to pay their teams, feed their families, and coming through to that, let's make sure that we're getting value, but let's do this together. And if we can help you build a great solution, then we'll do that, and we will talk to your other customers.
Yeah, and we can all learn off each other, right?
You don't get a competitive advantage from having an ERP system. You get that from having a great business and great partners. So yeah, it's always a two-way thing.
Yeah, interesting, very insightful. Thank you, Paul, for agreeing to put a shift in with TBP today.
Always happy to help.
Lovely. Thanks, Paul.